about one of the most disturbing final bosses in video game history.
Okay.
God from Silent Hill 3. The objective of the antagonist in Silent Hill 3 is to birth the new god that Heather Mason is carrying inside of her. In fact, every time you die in the game, the demon behind me named Valtiel revives Heather. They want this new god to be born no matter what the cost. By the end of the game, Heather ends up getting rid of the god inside of her. But before she can deal the final blow, the main antagonist, Claudia here, ends up devouring the god right in front of her, trying to complete the ritual. Except the ritual fails.
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to the channel, man. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing alright, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do. We break down scary and creepy videos, man, on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG Reels, Facebook, man. Anything you read, usual, and unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank the Seekers who's been tapping into the channel, subbing up, hitting that like button, man, and hitting that post notification bell. Really appreciate the support, man. Let's grow the Seekers. That's how you guys can do that. Found this video for you guys today, man. Let's do what we do best, man. Let's seek the truth.
When psychics helped solve crimes. On May 15th, 1976, 14-year-old Susan Jacobson left her home to go to a job interview at an ice cream parlor, but she never came back. Susan's parents contacted the police, but the police said she probably just ran away with her boyfriend Dempsey Hawkins, and they refused to search for her. 2 weeks later, Susan's parents contacted a psychic, Dorothy Allison, to help with the case. Dorothy asked what the word Mar meant, claiming she saw it in red spray paint. She also envisioned an abandoned car, dual church steeples, the smell of oil, and claimed that Susan had been strangled to death by her boyfriend. Then 2 years later, 3 boys stumbled across Susan's body as they were hunting. At the site was the word Mar, spray painted in red on a rock, dual church steeples, an abandoned car, and 2 oil drums which contained Susan's body. Plus, evidence at the scene showed that Susan had been strangled by her boyfriend Dempsey Hawkins, who was then sentenced to 22 years to life in prison.
Seekers, man, do we guys believe in freaking in psychics now, bro? She nailed it. She got it down to the detail, to the like last minute detail too. You know, I was skeptical about, you know, psychics, man. You know, I've seen it a couple of times. I've never went into the shop before. I never actually seen one, but to hear that and that she nailed like all the details, that's pretty scary, man, to think about it. A person can have that type of insight and know those type of specific things. Makes you wonder what else is hiding out in this world, Seekers, man. Stuff we learn, bro, blows my mind. You gotta tap in with us.
A case that makes me sick. The murder of Kenneth White. These 5 teenagers was throwing rocks from an overpass. Eventually, one rock hit the windshield of White's car and hit his face.
This girl claiming to be
man.
Madeleine McCann just
Crazy.
submitted a DNA test. For those that don't know, Madeleine McCann is a girl who went missing without a trace while on vacation in 2007. It's one of the biggest true crime mysteries of our generation, and there's even an entire Netflix documentary on Madeleine. Well, the mystery of Madeleine may have just been solved as this girl has came forward claiming to be Madeleine McCann. Now, this girl has just submitted her DNA test so investigators can find out if she actually is Madeleine or not. But a lot of the comments on her TikTok page seem to think that she is definitely not Madeleine. But what do you guys think?
The Knights.
Man, we're gonna have to check into that one, see, because I've seen that a couple of times, man, but really didn't get like a confirmed if they confirmed her identity or not. She was gone for that long, man. Those peoples, man, getting the comments to see online, that's why you can't even be freaking like respectful online. They talk about Maddie McScam or something like that. I'm like, this is a missing person case. It's not freaking down to make jokes, Seekers. But tell me, man, should we look into that, man, so we can confirm if it was her or not?
Stalker. A viewer asked if I could talk about this case, so here it is. Richard Ramirez was a serial killer whose crimes took place in California, and they lasted from June of 1984 to August of 1985. What made Richard stand out from the other serial killers in the past was Richard actually broke into people's homes and unalived those inside. He even went as far as stalking a girl while she slept. No longer was your home a safe place, and understandably so, that struck terror in people. By the end of his attacks, he unfortunately took the lives of 13 individuals. These are just some of them. Thankfully, he was traced and arrested on August 30th of 1985. He was charged and sentenced to death by California's gas chamber and was unalived in 2013.
Dark case shit, man. A lot of people.
This is why you never judge a book by its cover. On the evening of August 7th, 1985, police received a call about a mentally ill woman attacking her family with a gun. When police arrived at her residence, they didn't hear any shooting or hear any noises coming from inside the house. Police tried yelling for the shooter to come outside, but when she didn't listen, they went in. Inside was a massacre. All 5 family members have been killed, including 2 young children. One of the deceased was Sheila Bamber, the mentally ill woman the police had been called about, and she was holding a rifle that was tucked up against her neck with a gunshot wound underneath her chin. This case gained massive media attention, putting pressure on the police to solve it as quickly as possible, and so they jumped to the conclusion that this had to be a murder-suicide perpetrated by Sheila. But one detective felt like they were missing something and kept investigating. And sure enough, he found something hidden under the stairs at the crime scene that meant Sheila could not be the shooter. To find out what's under the stairs and who the shooter is, check out The Murders at White House Farm on HBO Max. The link to it is in my bio. It's awesome.
This is the disturbing.
Based on a true story, man. Damn, Seekers. Should we check that out, man? It's an actual freaking, I guess, movie or series at freaking HBO Max, man. That the details, like I said, those details in this case, that's what makes or break it, man. People just thought it was like just an open and shut case, man. But that one detective blew the case wide open, said there had to be something more to it, man. That's why you can never freaking throw away a detail.
The case of the child who killed a child. In July 2018, 6-year-old Alicia McPhail was abducted from her bed. She'd been staying with her grandparents in the Isle of Bute. She'd gone to sleep watching Peppa Pig, and no one had any idea of the horrors that would unfold that evening. Meanwhile, 16-year-old Aaron Campbell was drinking with friends at his house. Aaron apparently became upset in the night because he had been arguing with his mum. He had had a challenging upbringing involving physical and emotional abuse. Aaron decided that evening he wanted to get some substances to smoke from a couple that he knew. The couple in question were Alicia's dad, Robert, and his girlfriend. They'd been known to sell substances to Aaron previously, but he could not get hold of them. Intending to go and steal them off them, Aaron armed himself with a knife. He headed to Robert's house where he lived with his parents and girlfriend. This was obviously where Alicia was staying that evening. When he arrived at the house, he noticed the 6-year-old sleeping in her bed and took the opportunity to snatch the poor defenseless young child. Disgustingly, he carried her to a secluded location, S.A.'d her, and then killed her. He then disposed of his clothes in the sea. At 6 a.m. the next day, Alicia's grandparents woke up to discover that the little girl was missing. They straight away alerted police and locals. When the family asked Aaron to keep an eye out for the little girl, he texted them back saying, "Oh damn, I'm sure she's not went too far." A local man soon discovered Alicia's lifeless body around 15 minutes away from her house. Along with a lot of the local community, Aaron's mum actually checked her CCTV of her house. She was hoping that this would help with the investigation, and it definitely did. She saw her son leaving and returning from the house that night, and she handed the evidence over to police. Aaron was arrested, and it was discovered that the clothes that he'd abandoned on the beach did actually match with his DNA. Aaron's mum also confirmed that the kitchen knife found at the scene did come from her kitchen. Aaron's Google history showed that he'd searched "how did police find DNA" and also visited a website about collecting DNA evidence. He was given a life sentence of 20 years for the killing of Alicia McPhail. He was given 27 years, but this was reduced to 24 years on appeal. He'll be moving to an adult prison when he turns 21.
He was searching up that stuff, man. People, like I said, they truly don't think before they do these freaking horrific acts. acting like the freaking police, they just can't pull up a search history in your phones and stuff, man, when they get their warrants and stuff. And he was like literally looking it up, so freaking incriminate himself after doing that tragic act. But the mom, it goes to show you, like I said, do something wrong, man, doesn't matter if it's neighbors, a random person, blood, parents. If you do something wrong, man, you're gonna have to face those consequences. The mom, she turned in the evidence just like that. Called him on the camera and say, hey, gave your shit to the police. Tragic case seekers.
Let's talk about one of the most disturbing final bosses in video game history.
Okay.
God from Silent Hill 3. The objective of the antagonist in Silent Hill 3 is to birth the new god that Heather Mason is carrying inside of her. In fact, every time you die in the game, the demon behind me named Valtiel revives Heather. They want this new god to be born no matter what the cost. By the end of the game, Heather ends up getting rid of the god inside of her. But before she can deal the final blow, the main antagonist, Claudia here, ends up devouring the god right in front of her, trying to complete the ritual. Except the ritual fails big time. The god is born prematurely, misshapen, and only half-formed, which gives Heather the perfect opportunity to finish it off for good. Fun fact, the face that Valtiel
Her sister tries to calm her down, but she sees something again and starts to cry out of fear. She then stands up, not being able to be near whatever it is that she sees, and runs to her mom for protection. Her sister is laughing hysterically at all this, but then she turns around and sees it for herself.
Look at me. What's the matter?
Check out my page to find out what happens.
Today's case is...
What the hell does she see? It's like the sister, she picked up on it first. She kept looking backwards like, yeah, I don't see that. Little sister, she was laughing until she saw it too. So they, like I said, man, don't discount what kids freaking see, man. Sometimes they see more than adults. They definitely saw something, bro. Have to check that out, Seekers, man. I'll tell me if you guys want to check that out and say your findings down below, man. Like I said, we're community. If you guys check something out, man, and find the truth, drop it down below in the comments, man, so we all can see it.
One of these cases that you'll most likely recognise like the famous mugshot from. So this here is 18-year-old Shaylin Moran. At the time of what she did, she was 18 years old, and this takes place in 2019. She was from a place called Pawtucket, which is in America, and in the fall of October 2019, she met a boy online who she started a relationship with. This boy was called Leonard Trowfield, and I couldn't find any photos of him for some reason. On the first day that they met in person, the pair stayed at Leonard's house. However, after day 4, the pair got into quite the argument, where Shaylin had stormed out of the house and filed a police report against Leonard. And she had called assault, which Leonard absolutely denied was not true. The pair were then given a no-contact order. And the reason why I'm kind of leaning to believe Leonard is, I'll tell you why. So obviously when you're given a no-contact order, you cannot contact that person. But this didn't bother Shaylin. She was sending death threats to absolutely all of his family, including his dog. So after the breakup, she then very quickly met Jack Doherty. And together they had conspired that they were going to kill Shaylin's ex. And Jack was absolutely down for that. He was so ready to do it. They were sending each other texts like, if you do this, we'll be together forever, I love you, and all that. And at the end of December 2019, so we're literally talking 2 months later, Jack came down from New York to see Shaylin. Not only this, he also brought an engagement ring with him. and the pair were ready to go to her ex's house to commit a shooting. So Shailene had actually stayed in a hotel nearby where the pair was staying. She didn't go with him, and they decided that they were just going to shoot whoever opened the door. So on January 1st, 2020, Jack Doherty went to the address of Leonard, and it was his mother, Cheryl Smith, that opened the door, and she was shot several times, which killed her. Another strange thing that I just want to know, I couldn't find many photos of Cheryl either. To which, after it took place, they then posted this on Facebook, which says, "We some fighters and some shooters." And she's also showing off her engagement ring in the post. Luckily, a detective that was responding to the shooting had saw this post that these two had posted. So literally just a couple hours later they were arrested in the hotel room, which I just think is kind of funny, to be honest. Like, how stupid do you have to be? And the cops found the gun that was used in the shooting that matched the bullets found in Cheryl. Jack Doherty is still in prison awaiting trial, but because Shailene was really the mastermind behind it, she knew what she was doing. She was sentenced to life in prison for her part on killing Cheryl Smith.
I'm telling you, Seekers, man. Like I said, I know I said it before, but you gotta watch it to get into a freaking relationship with, because you never know, man, how it could just all spin out of freaking, how it could spit out of control, man. 1 second you good, next, as soon as you break up, you become like the freaking worst person in the world. They just they want to hurt you in any way possible, Seekers. Just keep that in mind, man. You ain't get into these relationships.
This 14-year-old was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, making him the youngest person to ever receive that sentence. So have you ever heard of Lionel Tate?
No.
Lionel was born on January 30th of 1988. As he grew up, people described him as having average intelligence, but he did have some street smarts. He did have some behavioral issues, as he had been kicked out of school about 15 times for stealing, lying, and fighting. And it seems like those behavioral issues were never properly addressed. Lionel was also not small. At 12 years old, he was almost 6 foot tall and weighed about 170 pounds. On the night of July 28, 1999, Kathleen, which was Lionel's mother, was asked to watch one of her closest friend's daughters, Tiffany Unick. Tiffany was just 6 years old at the time and was a fraction of the size of Lionel. She only weighed about 48 pounds. Sometime in the evening, Kathleen decided that she wanted to go upstairs to her room and left the two younger children alone downstairs. At about 10 p.m., both Lionel and Tiffany were getting kind of noisy, so Kathleen screamed down the stairs telling them to keep the noise down. She did not go downstairs and physically check on the children at this time.
Mistake.
But at about 10:40, Lionel goes up to the room and tells Kathleen that Tiffany is not breathing. Lionel told Kathleen that they were play wrestling and that he had Tiffany in a headlock. He says that she then smashed her head onto a side table and then started rolling around on the floor, where she urinated herself and was moaning, and he said she was acting like a baby. Lionel says that he left her alone and then sometime later went upstairs to get his mother when he noticed that she was not breathing anymore. By the time Kathleen got down to Tiffany, she was already cold. But upon closer examination, it would be revealed that Tiffany's injuries were far worse. She had bleeding in her brain, a cracked skull, a broken rib. Her kidneys were hemorrhaged. She had a lacerated liver, and she had so many bruises all over her body. A child abuse expert would testify in court, saying that the beating had to have lasted about 5 minutes, and it was the equivalent of a fall from a 3-story building. But Lionel claimed that he was just practicing the wrestling moves that he had seen on TV. It would take several years, but in 2001, Lionel would go on trial for first-degree murder, and he would be tried as an adult. I'm going to go to part 2. It will be up down in the comments, but I have to film it first, so give me just a couple of minutes.
Mysteries solved on
That's a
Reddit.
freaking tragic case, Seekers.
On August 9th, 2018, Susan Rainwater was on her routine morning bike ride down Highway 7. Tragically, she was the victim of a fatal hit and run when a careless person swerved into the shoulder on the highway. She was struck from behind at a high speed, which sent her and her bike off the road. Later that morning, confused as to why his wife hadn't returned home, her husband, 81-year-old Al Rainwater, went out to look for her. He found her mangled bike on the side of the road and eventually found her body in a ditch. He called law enforcement, they arrived, and it didn't take long to come to the conclusion that it was a hit and run. There was a big issue though. There were no witnesses. The only clue left behind was a chunk of black plastic found at the scene. One of the state troopers on the scene tweeted out and asked for anyone to come forward if they knew any information. This tweet would inadvertently spark a massive online investigation. On the evening of August 9th, a Reddit user creates a thread on the subreddit r/whatisthisthing of the black vehicle chunk. Theories began pouring in fast. Some thought it was from an aftermarket bumper lip or that it was from the window where the door's locking mechanism sticks out. Eventually, it seemed like people began agreeing what it was when someone mentioned that it looked like where you would insert a screwdriver into a grill or headlamp bezel to adjust the aim of the headlamp. At this point, Redditors had a pretty good idea about what the chunk of plastic was, now they had to figure out the make and model. Well, of course, it's Reddit, so there just so happened to be an expert in headlamp bezels browsing the page. Reddit user Jeff Snuts is a headlamp inspector for the state of Maryland who has, quote, done a shit ton of headlamp checks. About 2 hours after the thread was posted, Jeff found the post and thought the piece looked familiar. He recognized the chunk as being part of a headlamp bezel used specifically on Chevy Silverado trucks produced in the mid-1980s. Convinced he had solved the case, Redditors forwarded that information to the state trooper. On August 14th, 5 days after the fatal hit and run, there was a huge breakthrough in the case. The trooper posted online saying the suspect had been arrested and attributed the Reddit tip to being key in the arrest. Thanks to Jeff's headlamp expertise and the local citizen that identified the truck, Susan Rainwater's killer had been arrested. The man responsible is 37-year-old Jeremy Simon. He allegedly told police that he fell asleep at the wheel and thought he hit a deer or a mailbox. He then changed the story that he was awake, but he panicked and didn't want to see a dead body. There was also heroin found in his possession during the time of his arrest. He was charged with vehicular homicide, failure to remain at an accident resulting in death, and unlawful possession of a controlled substance. He was later sentenced to serve 4.5 years on a drug offender sentencing alternative, meaning half in prison and the other half on supervised probation. To me, that sentencing is quite light, but I am at the very least glad that he was caught. But of course, leave it up to Reddit to have a very specific person stumble across a post that was almost like it was meant for them.
Seekers, man, this is what I've been saying, how like the internet, it's good and bad. Like the freaking, like there's people on freaking Reddit, man, they just went to work, man, just starting to solve the case. They was doing a freaking police job for them. And like, do you know how freaking, like, I guess how Raymond Bear was at it being played, that he just freaking that head like inspector, man, just saw that Reddit and he freaking cracked the case just like that. As I said, the internet, it comes with good and it comes with bad, Seekers, man. So we just gotta try to take the gun, try to mitigate the bad as much as we can. That's freaking insane, Seekers, man. You post a case up on Reddit, bro, people will solve it, man. That's just one instant, man. I wonder how many other freaking cases were solved through Reddit. How many breakthroughs they got because somebody was just online, they just kept searching and searching and searching. That's amazing, Seekers.
This woman is about to be executed. Guess what her last words were? This is Guo Shang. For reference, that is probably nowhere close to the actual Chinese pronunciation, but I heard somebody saying it before this and I tried to copy him. Sorry. She was an aspiring nurse, but she never officially went to nursing school or med school, so she worked a part-time temp position at a local hospital, trying to climb up the ranks and support her family. At this point of the story, she is 22. One man in particular basically ran this hospital. His name was Dr. Fong Weijia. Again, that's as close as my little English tongue is gonna get. He was actually poor growing up, but he had such good grades that he was invited to study in the US. He researched at Harvard, and then in 2004 he was actually called back by his alma mater to work at a hospital there. His wife could not conceive of this though, and they divorced despite having kids. He was treated like a god at this hospital. One of these people who gave him these excited greetings every day was Guo Shuang. So when he had his birthday party in 2006, he invited her. But soon enough, Shuang noticed something was wrong. She was very dizzy and tired, even though she hadn't drank enough to be that way. Dr. Fong basically just like laughed it off with the rest of his coworkers, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go take this little silly temp worker home." You know, Shuang woke up the next morning in his bed. Very quickly, she realized what had happened, and she just started sobbing. He was kind of surprised at this, as he didn't think that she would get so emotional. I mean, he was her superior, so he kind of just thought that she would like put her tail between her legs and leave. He basically said, you know, if you hush up and leave now, I'll give you full time. She left that morning without saying anything, but as she thought it over, she realized, you know, at least I can get something out of this trauma. She ended up going back to him and sleeping with him again, and she was promoted to full-time, just without like the typical benefits. Like there was like healthcare and a lot of other benefits that came with being a full-time employee. She didn't get any of those, but she was just happy to be making more money to support her family. A lot of people have victim blamed her because of this, saying that she couldn't have really been traumatized if she went back to him, and I just want to make it very clear that it's actually really common for SA victims to do that. It's like they want to take control of their own narrative, and they want to take their power back by like going back and like making it their choice to sleep with the SAer this time. Sometimes it's just like to minimize the trauma, you know, like if I went back, then I obviously wasn't that traumatized in the first place, kind of like gaslighting yourself. Even if you don't understand those reasons personally, please understand and keep the comment section civil, because trauma is a very individualized and personal thing. We don't have to understand our own trauma responses, like it's such a complex subject. Anyway, so soon she started dating this boy, and I mean boy, because at this point she's 23, he's 18. This one's the hardest name. It's Wang Zijin, I think. She got pregnant, and obviously it wasn't his, so she went back to Dr. Fong, and he was livid, he was freaking out, he dragged her to get rid of it right then and there. And when Shuang told her new boyfriend this, he was red angry. The two kind of disagree about who originally planned or decided this, both of them lying and saying it was them to protect the other one, but somehow the plan to kill Dr. Fong was made. So they met up with Dr. Fong, and they got into the car where she was the driver. They picked up Zijin, who went into the back of the car, and they were driving like really, really far away, and so Dr. Fong is getting kind of nervous. After they got into a secluded spot, they basically said, you will give Shuang a full-time job, all of the benefits, and in whatever department that she wants to work in, or we will kill you. Dr. Fong said, I don't even have the power to do that, even if I wanted to, and they said, okay, you're gonna die. Zijin then took a scalpel from behind his seat to Dr. Fong's neck. He was spurting blood, but then he managed to escape before being chased down and basically hammered to death by Zijin. When the couple were caught, they just admitted it. They both protected each other as much as they could during questioning, still adamantly in love. They originally both had execution sentences, but his was actually commuted down to life in prison. This was Guoshang's response. "30 minutes after this, she's executed, by the way. 30 minutes. Zijin still maintains that he does not blame Shuang and that he acted of his own volition. The response to this case was very, like, hot and cold. A lot of people will be more victim blaming and say, oh, well, she was just sleeping with her boss and wanted to cover it up. And then the other half of people think that an execution was not necessary because the person who deserved to be dead was already dead. And I mean, obviously I do have limited sympathy for literal murderers, but it is interesting watching this clip and the morality debate that it brings up, you know, like it's very humanizing when we just think of murderers as like monsters.
She was saying at the end, Seekers, man, that it was freaking true, bringing like morality to the freaking, to this case, man. You saw, she said her partner or her other boyfriend, when he just got life, she was freaking crying, I guess tears of joy. She was happy, but it was already over for her. Man, that freaking case had twists and turns, Seekers, man, that I wasn't truly expecting. Once again, man, once you're out, you gotta be aware of your surroundings, man. Like, cover up, like, especially, man, if you're out drinking, man, cover it up, bro. If you had to go somewhere and you left your drink out there, just freaking throw it away, just get another one, because you never know, somebody could put something in there, and that's the end of that story, Seekers. So we gotta be aware, man. Have to be. Seekers, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today, man. If you guys made it with me to the end, you're a true seeker, man, seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support, man. Like, as you guys can see, man, like I said, through this month, man, April, I've been working through some stuff behind the scenes on my YouTube, man. It's freaking really frustrating, man. But hopefully, I can just get through this month and May we can start off with a fresh, clean slate, and it can be even better. I ain't going to get into it all right now, but I'm just letting you guys know I'm pushing through for you guys, man. Still daily uploading. We're going to continue, man. I know we can grow, man. We can grow into a big community. That's what I truly believe. So I just need you guys' help. Hit that like button, subscribe. Also, man, follow me on all my social medias down below so we always can be connected, Seekers. You guys are going to catch you in the next one tomorrow, man. I'm out. Peace, Seekers. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back, Seekers, man. You guys already know what we do here on this channel, man. But if you don't, we break down scary and creepy videos, man, on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos to IG videos, anything weird, usual, and explain, you can find right here on this channel. Like I said, I just want to thank you, Seekers, man, who's been tapping in with us, man, and who's been subbing up to the channel. I appreciate that, man. Like I said, we seeking the truth just like you. Found this video for you guys today, man. Just check it out.
Woman sold her baby to 6 predators who viciously abused her and then ended that baby's life, possibly with a baseball bat. I just got this story because I was tagging it to the paranormal file. Tag below, go follow this person. Gosh, amazing hair. But underneath that hair is a heart of gold. This woman, this monster, possibly will get the D penalty. They might end her because she sold her baby to predators who used and abused her. This is the baby. And it might be more than just 6 people that used this baby. That baby was innocent. That baby knew no evil except for that baby's mother. The mother was a drug addict and sold the baby for drug money. What do you guys think about this? And go follow the Paranormal Files.
I think we all can agree that Harambe...
I'll be telling y'all, fellow Seekers, man, freaking money, bro. I was saying it, man, just to see I can get that message, man. Money is the root of all evil, bro. To hear that she sold her baby to freaking 6 freaking evil human beings, bro. And now look what she's facing, man. That penalty, bro. It was so horrific, man, that they didn't have, I guess, the project, they didn't feel they had any other choice, man. I'm telling you guys, watch out for money, bro. The things people will do for money, bro, it's truly scary.
Getting turned into a screensaver has done irreversible damage to our timeline. But let's talk about the gorilla before Harambe, because this happened before, except it had a very different ending. So this was actually 30 years before Harambe became a hashtag in 1986. 5-year-old Levin Merritt was visiting the Jersey Zoo, which actually isn't in New Jersey, with his family, when he tried leaning over to get a better look and instead airdropped himself 20 feet straight into the gorilla pen. It really always is gorillas, ain't it? You never hear about this happening with chimps.
Damn.
Probably a good reason for that. Levin broke his arm, cracked his skull, and knocked himself out cold. But worst of all, when he woke up, it was to a 400-pound silverback looming over him, and everyone watching thought the kid was about to get put back to sleep permanently. Instead, what they actually saw was 25-year-old Jumbo standing over the boy, gently stroking his back with his hand, and even keeping the other curious gorillas away from him. And when the kid started screaming, because honestly, who wouldn't, Jumbo took charge and led all the others away from the boy into a small hut in their enclosure, which is when paramedics were able to retrieve the boy. And the funny thing is, Jumbo's actions might have saved more than just a little boy. Back then, King Kong was to gorillas what Jaws did to sharks, and the general public wasn't rocking with gorillas. But seeing a 400-pound unit protecting a human child, it was like Jumbo hit everyone with the Uno reverse, and it helped change public perception of gorillas. As for Levin, that day and Jumbo changed his life forever, and he still has the toy gorilla the zoo gave him. And as for gentle giant Jumbo, he passed tense in '92, but all that really means is he was there to welcome Harambe 24 years later. The more you know.
Creepy facts that will give you...
Wow, what the hell? How do you even do that, man? Because I remember, when that Harambe hashtag, people, when that freaking little boy fell in there, that they had a freaking end Harambe's life, man, but never to know, like, the exact opposite happened just like a freaking earlier, bro. It's like it's a yin and a yang, bro. It's like you versus good, man. That's actually crazy if you think about it, Secrets. That happened with Harambe, but there was another one where he was actually protecting that little boy. Really neat, bro. Back and forth, man.
99% of you chills, part 2. More people die every year from taking selfies than are killed in shark attacks. So next time you are taking a selfie, be aware of your surroundings and be careful. Refrigerator doors are magnetic because children used to die inside them while playing hide and seek. These older model refrigerators could only be opened from the outside. So when the children hid in them and shut the door, there was no way of them getting out and they died. The reason why dogs love squeaky toys so much, because it triggers an ancestral instinct that reminds them of a whimpering prey. So next time you see your dog chewing on a squeaky toy, it actually thinks it's chewing on a dying animal crying for its life. People who spend more than 2 hours a day in front of a screen actually make their lives 1.4 years shorter. So I think some of us have to get off our phones for a little bit.
That last one, bro, really hit home, man. You don't. Guess that's why you don't want to be freaking staring at screens a couple of days, bro. I guess it's proven, man. It makes your freaking life shorter, bro. And the thing about how he said when you're taking selfies, man, that actually more people pass away from that than actual shark attacks, bro. That's actually a scary one too, man, because that's saying like a lot about people not paying attention to their freaking surroundings, bro. You always have to do that, man. When I'm out, I don't even like to wear headphones because I want to be aware. I want to know what's going on all freaking around me, bro. I'm not trying to get cut off guard off of nothing, man. So that's kind of crazy to think about, man. You gotta be more aware, seekers. Edit. I gotta call it like I see it. I've seen this too many times. That's an edit.
It is now being reported that one of the largest data leaks ever discovered has occurred. So here's how to check if you've been affected. Yesterday, researchers found that a massive 26 billion personal records had been exposed in what they called the mother of all breaches. With Zuck commenting, rookie numbers. This is the list of the companies affected, which include the likes of Twitter, LinkedIn, Dropbox, MyFitnessPal, Adobe, Canva, and the list goes on. The researchers claim that this breach is extremely dangerous and could prompt a tsunami of cybercrime, including identity theft and unauthorized access to your personal and sensitive accounts. Now, regardless if you care about any of these accounts listed, usernames and password combinations were found in the leak. So if you're using these same ones elsewhere, you are being advised to change them and use two-factor authentication.
Normal-looking photos that have a
What the hell? You know what's the most disturbing part about that freaking story was? There was like, I'm guarantee you, if you look up in the news, no news is probably outlets is even reporting about that massive data leak, bro. That makes me wonder how many times has that actually happened, man? And our freaking information just floating on the net, and these cyber thieves, they can just access it like that, bro. But the freaking public, we're not even aware of that. Seekers, man, what do you guys think about that? Comment down below, man. I know you guys have some thoughts on that.
Disturbing backstory, part 21. This is known as the pale blue dot. This picture is a Voyager 1 photo, and the blue dot is Earth. On that tiny dot is everyone you've ever loved and every person that's ever lived. This photo was taken of Regina K by her killer. He was a truck driver who would pick up prostitutes, runaways, and hitchhikers, and he would rape, torture, and sometimes kill them. While this appears to be an ordinary group of friends having fun, it is actually a group of Nazi concentration camp officers at Auschwitz. The man on the left is Edmund Kemper, a 6'9" serial killer who murdered over 10 people. The man on the right is interviewing him. After the interview was finished, he clicked the panic button under the desk, but the guards didn't respond. Kemper noticed his panic and said, "If I wanted, I could screw your head off and place it on the table to greet the guards." They entered the room 30 minutes later.
30? What the hell? That one sent freaking chills down my damn spine, bro. He hit the panic button and 30 minutes later, what? Everybody in that freaking response team, bro, has to get freaking fired, bro. What the hell? Why did it take him that long, man? And nothing even happened to him, so I guess what he said was true. If he really wanted to take him out, man, he could have taken him out. He chose not to, bro. People, man, freaking even disturbing, bro. What the hell?
My Barbie is 300 years old, and she's alive. Every toy on the planet is alive. Your toys are sleeping, and they can awake at any moment. Look at your toys in the eyes and tell me if it blinks.
Whoa. That was scary. me, man. I'm gonna have to call probably edit on that video.
Do you know what would happen if the Earth lost oxygen for 5 seconds? Now, most humans and animals can hold their breath for that long, so initially your body probably wouldn't even notice, but you would notice it when the sky goes completely black, due to the atmosphere having no oxygen to scatter the rays of light from the sun. Any form of transportation that relies on combustion would immediately stop working, causing planes to fall from the sky and millions of cars to stop working. The ozone layer would also be gone, causing everyone and everything to start the cooking process. While that's happening, your eardrums would also explode due to the change in atmospheric pressure. Anything made out of concrete, including buildings, bridges, and dams, would immediately collapse. And since the Earth's crust is made out of 45% oxygen, it would also completely collapse, and everyone and everything would immediately start falling towards the center.
This case is gonna give you chills. Welcome.
Whoa. Like, he freaking really went in death if the world didn't have oxygen for 5 seconds. Like when I first saw you didn't think nothing bad would happen, but if you freaking think about it, it's like a lot of things, man. Freaking uses oxygen or something like that, or the freaking, like I said, the layer will freaking disappear. There'll just be madness and destruction all around, bro. It's the simple things we don't even freaking think about that we take for granted, man, that really can affect our everyday lives, bro.
Welcome to Creep Time on TikTok with Silas D. This story is from a man named Grady Hendrix about his childhood back in the 80s. So his parents had moved into this house around May of 1981. He's like any other 9-year-old kid. He realizes he can sneak downstairs in the middle of the night and grab anything he wants from the kitchen without his parents finding out. Until one night, while he's sneaking down in the dark, he hears something that makes him freeze. The sound of a fork hitting a counter in the kitchen. From the hallway, he can see the outline of a tall, thin man who had been eating at the kitchen counter. He races upstairs and he gets his parents up from their sleep, but of course by the time they go downstairs, there's nothing. But over the next couple of months, there's odd instances of strange noises in the house, there's things being misplaced in the kitchen. Over that summer, while he's lying awake in bed, he hears movements coming from the ceiling above him, so he flips over on his back. He recounts seeing a pair of eyes staring back at him from the ceiling vent. He becomes hysterical. His parents get up, they have to search the attic, they search all the crawl spaces, but still, they're not finding anything. They just keep assuming that he's freaked himself out. But by the end of that summer, an HVAC inspector comes to the house and finds something horrific. The rotting remains of a dead man who had crawled into their vent system and was living in their walls. I can't think of anything more chilling than that, but of course what this meant was that everything Grady had seen was real. Since I've heard this story, I can't look at the vents in my house. I'm so freaked out.
Freaking imagine that, bro. A whole freaking man or person was living in your house, man, and your kid was trying to warn you about it. You just thought it was his imagination, man. I can't even freaking imagine that, bro. Now, like I said, I can't even look at the freaking vents or something the same, bro. I'm gonna think somebody in my damn house. That's crazy, man, the things that people can do, bro. Like, how could he stay in the house that long, man? They didn't really notice? Man, people need to be more aware, bro. Seekers, if that happened to you, man, tell me, would you guys pick up on that, like, right away, man? Somebody was in your house.
Creepy photos that can't be explained. This photo was taken in the basement of a house that was for sale a few years ago. The photo was taken by a realtor because he wanted to show his clients the house. Everything looks completely normal in this house until you look at the left corner. What appears to be a fairly transparent woman is standing towards the bottom of the stairs going to the basement. The realtor insists that nobody was there when he took the photo, but the strangest part about this photo lies in the backstory of this house. The house was previously owned by a man and his wife, but unfortunately the wife passed away, so the husband decided to sell. Another reason why the man wanted to sell his house is because after his wife passed, he kept hearing strange noises in the middle of the night while home alone. What do you guys think? Who or what was captured on camera? Like and follow.
Videos that can never be explained. A police body cam captures lady vanishing out of nowhere.
Hey, how's it going?
I was speeding, wasn't I?
Yeah, you completely blew past that stop sign in front of me.
I'm so sorry. I literally didn't even see it.
No
this
worries.
is my first time being pulled over.
Alright, can I see your driver's license registration, please?
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Here's my license, but this is my mom's car. So.
Where are you headed to where you're speeding and
Missing stop signs. I was just headed to a friend's house. It's like literally right there. It's a birthday party. Not mine, but... Any drugs or alcohol in the vehicle? No. Alright. Sit tight, Sarah. I'll be right back. Your registration is this.
Where did she
What
go?
the? Sarah? What the heck? Sarah? 3201.
Now, Sarah, go.
Dispatch. Hi.
Oh, the damn Batman. Freaking going to prison, bro. Freaking that changes you, man. Especially that first photo, man. How the hell did he get all those damn tattoos in prison? That's the freaking real question we need to be asking. He had no face test and nothing, man. As soon as when he got out, it's like freaking face was covered in that, bro. How did he get them done? It's really freaking on that mind, bro. More questions we need to be asking, man. I need to freaking check up on that, bro. Do some more research. You always say they see something under the stairs. I don't see it. Okay, I think I saw a little shadow movement. But nothing too crazy.
Animal facts that'll make you see the world a little differently. The only reason tigers are orange is because the animals on their grocery list are Helen Keller to the color. So if you're something like a deer, this is what the biggest cat in the world and a striped Uber to the afterlife looks like. Polar bears have black skin. The only reason they look white is because their fur is translucent and hollow. And with hollow hair, light bounces off of them and reflects enough to look like an aggressive piece of snowdrift. Flamingos are naturally pink. The color comes from the carotenoid pigments in the shrimp and algae they eat. If they didn't eat it, they'd look like an IKEA kitchen, just 50 shades of bland. And if you move like Bugs Bunny and start ODing on carrots, the same thing can happen to you, but instead of pink, you turn a shade of orange. If you think an orca's eyes are here, you fall for their trap card. It's actually right there. The giant white patches are false eyes to trick any prey that tries to fight back. It's just devious. This is a black bear. Let me explain. This is a black bear with a mutation called leucism that basically turns it into a shiny Pokemon. Matter of fact, all three of these are black bears, and I can't even be mad. I'm black and I'm proud, but I'm black and I'm brown, at least according to Crayola. Bulls hating the color red is a myth. Mostly because bulls can't even see the color red, but chickens do, and because their instinct is to attack the color red, you're more likely to get pressed by a pack of poultry if you cosplay as the Kool-Aid Man. The more you know.
3 scared. What? That bullfuck is freaking mind-blowing, man, because you know in all the freaking TV shows, movies, man, that guy with the freaking, there always a guy with a red cape or something in front of the bull and makes it freaking angry. But to hear that they can't even freaking see. I tell you, man, the stuff they put this media and stuff, man, we be watching, but really be alive, man. You don't want us to know the freaking truth, bro. That's why I love freaking checking out these videos with you guys, man. Expanding my mind, and hopefully it expands you guys' minds as well. That's freaking crazy, bro. You rather get attacked by a chicken wearing red than a freaking bull, bro.
Scary facts about dreams. 1. If you are dreaming and some weird creature appears in your dream, there is someone watching you. 2. If you are unable to fall asleep, that means you are awake in someone else's dream. 3. 90% of your dream are actually traumas.
Really?
In 1995, 13-year-old Thad Phillips was sleeping when someone picked Phillips up off the couch. He assumed it was his father carrying him to bed. Thad soon found he was outside with an unfamiliar, friendly, older teen boy named Joe Clark. Joe took Thad to his home, saying he needed some help with his car and that some other boys were coming over for a party. But once they got into Joe's house, Joe's friendly teen persona disappeared. He threw Thad on his bed and started jumping on him, and then began to twist Thad's foot around his leg until the bone above his ankle snapped and splintered. For the next 43 hours, Thad would endure horrific torture, with many bones broken, including his knees. His ankles broken so bad that his feet were backwards. Thad asked Joe why he was doing this, and Joe said, "I enjoy the sound and the feeling of bones breaking. I've done this before, and I love it." It was later discovered that he had abducted and tortured Christian Steiner, that had initially thought to have drowned in the nearby river.
Horror movies based on true.
Did they freaking catch that sick individual, man? He said he loves to hear bones breaking, bro. He freaking got to this house, man. Freaking just scooped him up and just started freaking torturing him, bro. Man. People, bro. Said they get into weird things, bro, and it doesn't end well for anybody else, man. Ooh. Hopefully, man, they call them
events. The strangers.
Strangers? I've seen that trailer before, so it's based on a real story.
Jesus never taken seriously in Hollywood. Like, why is he mocked almost everywhere? We got Jesus getting a lap dance on SNL. Megan Thee Stallion dressed as a demon. P. Diddy on a cross. Tupac on a cross. Madonna on a cross. Nas on a cross. The Baby on a cross. Even Lil Dicky on a cross. We got Lady Gaga in a nun outfit with an upside down cross. Katy Perry pretending to be burning with a demon behind her and an upside down cross. Look, what I'm trying to say is, how did being demonic become so cool and popular? Have we lost our way that much?
This is demonic. They're not even hiding the fact that they are of the devil. This is a satanic dance and ritual. Somehow this is meant to be the entertainment standard for our youth, for the world. This is promoting the pathway to hell.
Like, a lot of us are just sitting here shrugging it off. It's no big deal. But that isn't weird to you that we have normalized it that much? Whew. We have lost our way from God. If you still believe in good and still believe in God, comment amen down below. Because at this point, I'm afraid of what we'll start normalizing next. Make sure to hit that follow button because my next story will blow your mind.
I don't think this was a...
It was saying, like, freaking points, but, like, yeah, I think it has gotten to the point where probably, like, people just think it's normalized. They think it's just for entertainment, but I don't think that's something that you should be doing, man, because to me, it just won't end well, bro. It just affects a lot of people, man. You saw what happened with Lil Nas X, bro. Man, I don't have to speak on that, man, so just gotta do some more research into that.
The picture that many people were supposed to see. When these things leak, we typically talk about them. This was the photo that I wanted to talk about, and unlike some of them, for this one, I could pretty much spot straight away what was wrong with the picture. Yet this was a picture that nobody was ever supposed to see. We know it took place somewhere in this suburban neighborhood, like Quiet Town. Entire family vanished without a trace, but they searched the phones because those were oddly enough left behind. On the phone of the mother, this was a picture that was found, and I'll tell you why it's so strange. Before we do, as always, if you have not listened to Creep Time the podcast, go click the link in my bio to listen on Spotify or Apple. Like I said, this picture taken by the mother, right? If you look to the back, who is that in this room? Part of this file that leaked, this was a family of all boys, a husband, and the mother. Is this unexplained woman that's in their house? Nothing in their file to explain this person.
The hell? Who was that? She was the cause of it? Has to be editing. Yeah, I can see the freaking edit word above.
In 2007, ABC News did a segment on death threats, and they investigated families who had experienced that. Little did they know that this series was about to take a terrifying turn. One of the families they investigated claimed that they would receive calls late at night from a man with a scratchy voice. He threatened to unalive them, their parents, their pets, basically anyone that was related to the family. What terrifies me is the caller even knew what the family was wearing at the time of them receiving the call. Police tried to trace the phone numbers, however it would always be traced back to the people's phones. And during the segment, police actually found out that the person giving the death threats was actually a hacker, and he was in their phone. He was tracking their location, what they were seeing and hearing, basically everything. They never found out who it was, and that truly goes to show that you never know who is listening.
It's freaking scary, bro. Think about it, man. Like, so freaking stalker went to the next level, man. You heard of stalking before, but he knew like the location, what they was wearing, anything so he could get them at any point in time, man, and they never freaking know. They had to be walking around probably scared for what will happen next to him, man. The things, bro, technology can allow you to do, bro. Somebody could be watching me right now, and I would never even know, bro. That's how freaking advanced the technology got, man. Scary, bro.
How to tell if a zodiac sign likes you. Virgo. They're shy, but if you like them back, they won't shut up. Aries. They're always glancing at you. Pisces. Asks you a lot of questions and tries to make you smile. Gemini. How don't you tell is the real question. Capricorn. They show off so freaking much. Scorpio. They're always staring at you when you're not looking.
Oh, a case for my harmonica.
Oh my, a chain from my watch. Oh, Mickey, it's beautiful. But I traded my watch to get you that case.
And I traded my harmonica to get a chain for your watch.
Oh, Mickey, I can't believe you gave up what means the most to you. From me.
You're all the music I'll ever need.
Merry Christmas, Mickey.
Positive message, bro.
A gift from the heart, cherished and true. A present is best when love is given.
I wonder did they even show with that, did they even run that special during this Christmas or not, man? Because you know, people freaking, they took Christmas, they think it's just all about gift giving, man. But it's truly, it's more than that, bro. It's more than the gifts, man. It's about being with your family, about being with, I guess, with the people you love, bro.
Let's talk about another South Asian serial killer who claimed a whopping 100 lives. Javed Iqbal was a Pakistani serial killer who confessed to the murder and sexual abuse of 100 boys, ages ranging from 6 to 16. When his father died in 1993, Javed inherited 3 million rupees. He used the money to open different businesses designed to meet young boys and teenagers. He'd lure his victims by leaving money on the floor of his video game arcade. Whenever a child would pick up the money, he would accuse them of theft and take them to a room where he would sexually assault them as their punishment for stealing. Javed also met other victims through pen pal programs. He'd convince them to send photos of themselves, select his favorites, and then he'd send them gifts. After that, he'd arrange to meet them and sexually assault them. He'd abduct his victims, assault them, and then strangle them to death. He'd then dismember the corpses of his victims and submerge them in vats of hydrochloric acid. After the bodies liquefied, he'd dump everything into a nearby river. In 1998, Javed and an employee were robbed and beaten by another employee. He suffered a severe head injury and was hospitalized for 22 days. Right after that, he was arrested and charged with sexual assault. Somehow, he was granted bail and most of his property was sold to cover his medical care. He moved out to the slums of Lahore where he would commit more heinous crimes. In 1999, Javed wrote a letter to the police and a local Lahore newspaper where he confessed to the murder of 100 boys. When the police got to his home, they were met with bloodstains, vats of acid containing partially dissolved bodies, and plastic bags containing the clothes and shoes of his victims. Note cards with details and photos of his victims were also found, but Javed was gone. The police also found out he'd been sharing his home with 3 teenage boys who were believed to be his accomplices. On December 30th, 1999, Javed gave himself up. However, when it came time for him to stand trial, he denied any involvement in the killings. He claimed he confessed to the murders to draw attention to the dangers children living in poverty experience. Thankfully, the judge didn't believe him, and he was sentenced to death by strangulation in the same public square he frequented when searching for victims. His body was also to be cut into 100 pieces and dissolved in acid. His 3 accomplices were also found guilty. However, on October 8th, 2001, he and one of his accomplices were found dead in her cell. It seems like they had committed suicide. However, there's speculation that they were murdered because autopsies revealed that they were beaten prior to their death. Javed's motive for
for these murders was his rage over a perceived injustice committed by the Lahore police. They beat him after arresting him on charges of sexual assault against a young runaway boy in the 1990s. Since his mother was forced to watch his decline due to these injuries before suffering a fatal heart attack while he was still incarcerated, he vowed to make 100 mothers cry for their sons just as she had cried for him. Javed bragged to authorities that he could have easily killed 500 or more children. He stopped at 100 because that's what he promised himself.
Freaking evil individual, bro. And freaking put all those freaking people in there for that freaking trauma, bro. Because you wanted to keep a promise to his mom, man. Whew. And yeah, that there was freaking other people involved in it, man. It was like damn ring or something, bro. That's just freaking a bone chilling case, man. Truly. You never know, man. The things people would do, man, when they freaking hurt or broken or shattered, bro. They can truly do some evil things. YouTube, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today, man. Like I said, if you guys stay with me to the end of the video, you're a real seeker, man, seeking the truth, man. So I appreciate that. Like I said, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, man, so we can hit the algorithm more, so we can find more seekers, man, so we can grow our community together. I just want to, like I said, thank you guys for the support, and I've been seeing all you guys support or comments. I really appreciate that. Like I said, man, I'm kind of toying with the idea of doing like daily uploads in February. I don't know if you guys want me to do it or not, but tell me down below, man, if you guys want me to do it. Maybe I can try. But yep, you guys can catch in the next videos. I'm out. Peace, YouTube. What's up, seekers? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are brand new here, man, if you don't know what we do, we break down scary and creepy videos, man, on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to IG videos to TikTok videos. Anything weird, usual, and explained, you can find right here on this channel. Want to thank the seekers, man, who's been tapping in with us, man, subbing up to the channel. I appreciate that, man. We seeking the truth just like you, man. Found this video for you guys today, bro. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Seek the truth out here, bro. Somebody gotta find it.
Mother killed her 3-year-old daughter because SpongeBob SquarePants told her to. If you've never heard about this, you might want to. On September 17th, 2022 in Michigan, a police officer named Gerald Sobolewski received a call from a man inside his sister's residence claiming that he found a human foot. So the officer then immediately drove to the residence, and when checking the back room, he found 2 garbage bags with one of them having a human foot sticking out of it, and unfortunately in one of the bags was the body of 3-year-old daughter Sutton Moser, who was stabbed multiple times before being stuffed into the bag. Police immediately got a search team together to find Sutton's mother, and eventually they did find her, and she was passed out in a random graveyard. Turns out the 22-year-old mother named Justine Johnson was the culprit who stabbed and murdered her 3-year-old daughter, and was therefore immediately arrested by the police. When asked why she did it, it was later revealed that she was experiencing hallucinations from heroin withdrawals and not sleeping for approximately 2 weeks. So on the day of Sutton's murder on September 16th, 2022, Justine was hallucinating while watching SpongeBob SquarePants, who apparently instructed her to kill and take her daughter's life. She also said that if she didn't do what she did to her daughter, that they would kill her, and said she was afraid for her life and lost her mind. This case is just shocking and absolutely disturbing, and how could SpongeBob convince you to kill your own daughter? I get she was hallucinating, but still, this is just absolutely crazy to wrap your head around. Rest in peace to Sutton, you did not deserve this at all. Always check under your bed.
Man, bro, seekers, that's a freaking bone-chilling case, bro. Like I said, you guys know the shows and movies and stuff we watch, man. They be how sometimes people be saying like they have freaking messages behind it, and they freaking can make people do things that they shouldn't do, bro. Like she said she was hallucinating, but still, like to say that SpongeBob convinced you to do that to your own daughter, bro. That's like some dark, demented stuff, seekers. What do you guys think, bro?
Before you go to sleep, this, my friends, is the poltergeist clown. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, share with 3, or this might get you at night. The poltergeist clown is a demonic clown. It takes the shape of a children's toy, waiting for its victims to go to sleep. As soon as it does, it teleports itself under the bed. Once the child awakens, it notices that it's gone. It checks in one place and one place only, under the bed, which then the clown will suck them into another dimension, never being seen again. If this video gets 20,000 likes, I'll summon this cursed clown. Hopefully he doesn't get me before then.
I don't mess with clown seekers. Hell no, bro.
Imagine being so scared of police that you freeze to death. Brandon Bushman was a 34-year-old man living in Minnesota. On June the 26th, 2023, something horrific was revealed. Police responded to a call asking them to attend a property that hadn't been lived in since around February 2023. Just after 3:30 p.m., police found Brandon's body inside of a chest freezer in the property. Now, witnesses had seen police in the local area and spotted Brandon run from the upstairs of the house. It's believed that he had a warrant outstanding for his arrest, and it's believed he was trying to evade police. In doing so, he ran to the freezer of the property, presumably hoping to hide there for a short amount of time. However, after climbing into the basement freezer by choice, tragically due to it being an older model of freezer, it had no facility to be opened from the inside. It had a latching mechanism on the outside of the freezer only. Tragically, Brandon was trapped. He couldn't escape the freezer. He was found deceased, and the autopsy showed no evidence of him having any prior injuries or trauma to his body.
Can you?
Seekers, as I said, bro, you gotta think before you freaking act, bro. Like, for him trying to hide from the police, bro, it ended up him freaking making an ultimate mistake and he lost everything, bro. Like, he was trying to freaking avoid the consequences, man, of his actions, bro. Went to the freezer. It was an older model he didn't know, and look what happened, bro. It's like it's as simple as the small things, seekers, man, that you just don't think about. You're just trying to avoid the consequences or something like that. It can lead to an even bigger one, so it's best to just, if you can own up to it, bro. Because you never know what that other consequence could lead to, man, if you're trying to avoid your first one.
Tell that there is something wrong with this picture. At first, when I saw this picture, I couldn't really tell what it was about it that felt strange, but I knew something was off. I had to get some of the backstory and some of the context on it to understand what the picture was even from. This was back in 2016 when the Saturn family went missing, including their daughter. Nobody knew what happened to these people, but effectively their home became a crime scene, which is where the photo came from. Before we dive in, a huge thank you to you for listening to Creep Time, the podcast. If you haven't listened, go click the link in my bio and listen on Spotify or Apple. This picture. This was from the initial walkthrough of the home. They typically walk through a home, they'll take photos of every room. If you look at the central mirror, right towards the back of the reflection, you can see that this person is not alone in this room. It was only discovered after the fact that it appeared to be someone was hiding in the darkness next to the chair. Whoever's face this was, police believe they might have been responsible for the disappearance.
Seekers, you definitely saw that face, right? I know I wasn't the only one who saw that, bro. Like I said, when you first glance at the freaking picture, I'm gonna say there's nothing wrong with it, but if you zoomed in, it was definitely a face there, bro. So they definitely have to be connected to whatever happened to that family, bro. It's a small thing, seekers, bro, that you just can't miss. Ooh. Oh, it has a tire font. Is that it?
Stop scrolling because this has to be one of the strangest and scariest skinwalker encounters ever. TikTok user Samael said that he was walking across a parking lot when a man called him by his name. He turned around and realized that he didn't recognize this man and had no idea how he even knew his name. Things got even weirder though. The man then asked him for $1 and said that I know you only have one in your wallet right now, which was true. Samael said that at this point his heart was jackhammering. He froze there and didn't know what to say, so he said, "Yeah man, I only got $1, but you can have it." He gave him the $1, and then the strange man said, "Yo, do you want to see something?" The man then allegedly lifted up the back of his shirt and showed him his tail. Then he got on all fours like an animal and crawled away.
Seekers, what do you guys think, man? Do you believe that was a skinwalker, or was he just freaking trying to mess with us, man? Those skinwalker stories, bro, they're always like trippy, man. You always gotta like do your deep dive into them, bro. You gotta research them yourself to check out if it's true or not. I'm definitely gonna have to check out those skinwalker stories.
Most disturbing videos in the world, episode 6. This picture contains a list of disturbing videos from the least scary to the most. This will be my scariest series ever. Welcome to tier 7 because we skipped a couple of them. And honestly today, we're gonna skip directly to tier 10. The first video is titled Funky Town. This video single-handedly could be the worst video the internet has ever had. Now obviously I can't show the video here, but I can tell you everything you need to know about it. And please remember, don't look this up. Trust me. It shows a man, getting executed, in which they remove the man's face all while he's still alive. And lots of other stuff start happening. And in the background of the video, the song Funky Town starts playing. You know this song? Yeah, that one. Make sure to like and follow because I start my brand new series tomorrow.
That Funky Town video is freaking crush video, bro.
What they find out years later will haunt you. A young couple decided to take a late-night stroll through the forest, but little did they know what awaited them. As they walked, the man felt a sense of unease, but his girlfriend dismissed his concerns. Suddenly, the man stepped on something that felt alive and squishy under his feet. Before he could react, they heard rustling from the bushes beside them. They ignored it and kept walking until they returned home. Years later, and they were watching TV when an interview with a death row inmate caught their attention. The man had been asked if he had ever came close to getting caught for his heinous crimes. The killer responded with a chilling tale. "Yes, I remember one night in the woods a couple walked right by me. The man stepped on the body of the girl who I had just killed. I was hiding in the bushes just a few feet away, but they never saw me." The couple watched in horror as the name of one of the most notorious serial killers was revealed. His name was Ted Bundy. Follow because my next story is crazy.
Seekers, man. Can you freaking even imagine that, bro? You walking in the woods or something like that, bro. You already have that freaking weird feeling, bro. You, like they said, if you can, the guy stepped on something squishy, bro. He didn't even pay attention to it because he heard rustling in the freaking bushes. And I found out that you was in danger like the whole time, bro. And nothing happened to you. Whew. Like you could really, there's danger lurking everywhere, bro. That's why I always say be aware, seekers, because you never know what situation you're gonna be in, man.
So this murdered Texas couple's missing baby has finally been found after 42 years. And the story is crazy. Let's take a look. So in 1981, Dean Klaus, his wife Tina Lynn, and their baby Holly disappeared without a trace in East Texas. The only clue was from an anonymous caller who said that he had found Dean's car in California. And he claimed that 3 women in white robes drove it from Texas to California. Police were actually able to track down one of the women who called herself Sister Susan, and she claimed that Dean had joined a cult and renounced all earthly possessions. And she wouldn't tell them anything else. It actually wasn't until late last year that human remains found around the same time were confirmed to be Dean and Tina's. Dean had been beaten to death and Tina had been strangled. But that didn't answer what happened to Holly. This year, investigators were searching for human remains around where Dean and Tina were found. And that's when they got a genetics hit that Holly was alive and in Oklahoma. But get this, when they were talking to Holly, they found out that she had been left on the steps of a church in Arizona by none other than 3 women in white robes. Investigation is still pending, and they are really trying to figure out who these white-robed women are. But for now, at least we know that Holly is alive and well.
Man, bro, what the hell? Seekers? That guy just freaking, you say he joined the cult and just gave away, they said gave up all his early possessions. I'm guessing that included his daughter too, bro. He just left her in the church in Arizona. She, the freaking baby survived, but what happened? I'm trying to figure out now. The mystery is what happened to the parents out of like cult, and those what happened to the parents that they connected. Seekers, man, like I said, when I watch these videos, I always expand my mind, bro. I gotta do my research just like you guys have to. Gotta check up on that. Where's this guy? Edit. Gotta call it out like I see it, bro. It's an edit. I just gotta say it, man. Or at least I think it's an edit.
If you hear a scream, run. This, my friends, is SCP-939, also known as Many Voices. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, share with 3, or this might come after you. SCP-939 mimics the voices of its last victims, either it being their screams or them talking, to lure in new victims. As soon as you get there, it'll devour you. If you hear a scream, don't trust it.
I'm won't.
Scariest videos I found online. We bet you can't watch the whole video.
The last one scares me.
A woman is hearing weird noises in her home. She goes to investigate. This is what happens.
Edit? Or legit?
A man sees another strange man on the road. Things get really weird.
Buddy! How you doing? Oh, just some cruisers, man.
What the?
Those Chris crawling at me like a cat. What's up, dude?
Let's say that this thing grabs you and says it won't let you go unless your third act leaks all the photos on their phone right now. Let me know who it is and let me know if you think you're saved or doomed. A man hears something in the drain cover and decides to check it out. This is what happens. Should I do a part 4?
Kenneth Smith,
You guys saw that freaking last part, bro? He lifted up the drain cover seekers. And somebody was definitely in there, bro. I guys, you know, been hearing the things about how, like, freaking people, they can just be anywhere, bro. Living anywhere. Was he, like, living in the sewers, bro? Heard rumors about sewer people and stuff like that. You know, people, I guess, who live on the ground. Definitely got to check that out, Seekers, bro. And that Skinwalker freaking joint. And that guy walking on all fours. Very creepy, Seekers.
prisoner on death row who made history for all the wrong reasons. His story goes all the way back to 1988 when he maliciously took the life of Elizabeth Sennett. He was arrested and sentenced to death. For the next 33 years, he waited until November 2022 when officers told him that this was the last day he was going to be alive. He was scheduled for lethal injection, though the people performing his execution could not find his vein in time, thus resulting in Kenneth surviving. Instead of trying again, on January 25th of this year, the state of Alabama followed through his sentence by giving him nitrogen gas, which was the first time in history an inmate has ever been executed through this method. What nitrogen gas essentially does to the human body is it deprives it of oxygen, thus making it impossible to breathe. Unlike lethal injection, this process is extremely lengthy and painful. It can take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to finish the job. Despite a ton of backlash, the state of Alabama did not listen. After 15 gut-wrenching minutes of Kenneth struggling, he passed away. Since then, a lot of controversy has sparked, so as always, let me know your thoughts.
Millions of TikTok.
That's freaking crazy, bro. That they legit seekers, they had to come up with a new way to freaking to end it all, man, because he survived on the first one. I guess that's what caused the outrage seekers. I even know something like that, man. That they even had to make like a drastic move like that, bro. I tell you, man, when I watch these videos, I'm just like you guys. I'm a fellow seeker, man, just seeking the truth.
Videos are about to be muted in the next few hours, and it is going to change the app significantly. If you didn't know, TikTok pays music publishers a fee that allows you to use music on your videos for free. But now the second largest music publisher in the world, Universal Music Group, has refused to extend their contract with TikTok, and it expires on January the 31st at midnight. And they wrote a massive, pretty angry statement basically calling TikTok cheap, saying TikTok is trying to build a music-based business without paying fair value for the music. They also said that TikTok is allowing the platform to be flooded with AI-generated recordings, which is nothing short of sponsoring artist replacement by AI. TikTok then clapped back with their own statement, saying Universal Group has put their own greed above the interest of their own artists and songwriters, and that TikTok has been able to reach artist-first agreements with every other record label and publisher, saying clearly their actions are self-serving and are not in the best interest of their artists, songwriters, and fans. I don't know if you can tell, but this is basically a lawyer's rap battle. Now, what this means for you and the app going forward is that if you made any videos with music from their artists, which is a bloody long list, Taylor Swift, The Weeknd, Drake, BTS, Ariana Grande, Olivia Rodrigo, Eminem, SZA, Ye, Justin Bieber, and the list goes on and on and on. Your videos will likely be muted and will not go on the For You page. And what it means for the app, well, TikTok does have other partnerships, but they will lose a huge chunk of what makes TikTok TikTok. But the question is, what's the one trending sound that you hope is part of this removal?
That's actually freaking crazy, bro. It's like two freaking corporates just freaking arguing over money, man, and you get to see how that affects everybody else, the small people. They just thinking about themselves, man, but they not really thinking about, I guess, the small people, how it's gonna affect their freaking accounts. Like, what happened to like music reviews and stuff like that? Is this all just gonna get muted, Seekers? Tell you, man. But when it come to money, bro, nobody thinks straight, Seekers. Nobody.
I've been in the game for a long time, more than 70 probably.
I mean, I'll have to ask you, what was the most violent thing you've done yourself?
I was taking 2 recruits to do a task that was given to us. These recruits obviously were new, they didn't know what they were doing. They got nervous, they came back into the car and they told me that the people that were there were armed. We pull up near this person, and this person is obviously a rival. The person in the back seat, I was driving, the person in the back seat pulled out a rifle and shot him. He missed the shot, but injured him on the leg. At this moment, the rifle jammed.
Ooh.
The recruit was panicking. I jumped out of the car, took the rifle, busted the bullet out, and cocked it back in, and I shot him again. This person was still agonizing, trying to drag himself through the pavement. The rifle jammed again, so I basically went up to him and smashed him with the butt of the rifle until his head exploded, and that was it.
So calm about it.
See, there's more things that I've done but I'm not willing to discuss at the moment.
One of the most freaking dangerous freaking people ever, bro. Just see like how freaking calm. He just talking about it like it's just everyday conversation. Like he just didn't freaking end somebody, bro. In the most brutal way too, Seekers. Damn, what do we go into people's heads when they be doing that stuff, bro? I'm gonna have to find some more interviews, I guess, with him, bro. I guess I'm talking to them as a cartel or something. Insane Seekers, bro.
This 18-year-old killed a mother and her daughter while street racing. So this is Cameron Herron. You probably know his story by now. In 2018, he was just a normal 18-year-old kid. At the time of the accident, Cameron was producing content for YouTube, was going to school, and on the day of the crash, he decided that he and his brother Tristan were going to race. So Cameron had a lifelong love of cars, and so he and his brother would always race, and he and his friends would race. But on that day, he reached a speed of 162 miles an hour in his car.
Damn.
And that's when he careened into Jessica and Lilia, a mother and daughter who were crossing the street. Jessica was actually wheeling her daughter across the street when Cameron struck them both with his vehicle. So tragically, on that day, David, Jessica's husband and Lilia's father, was driving home from work when he passed by a huge accident. He said to himself, wow, that must have been a bad accident. He went home, but when he got home, he noticed that his wife and daughter weren't there. So he got back in his vehicle, went out searching for them, and when he returned and passed by the scene of that accident, he noticed the stroller that was sitting on the side of the road. He recognized that that stroller belonged to his family. They owned one just like that. And shortly afterwards, he discovered that the victims of that horrific crash were his own wife and daughter, who were now dead. So Cameron was obviously arrested. He was eventually sentenced to 24 years in prison. And shockingly, afterwards, people have made thirst accounts dedicated to Cameron. The actual hashtag Cameron Herron on TikTok itself has billions of views. And people have been idolizing this guy. His own parents have said in news articles that they get calls at all times of the day to their home from people from countries all over the world, specifically a lot of people from the Middle East, calling to see how their son is doing. But yeah, this is just a tragic story all around. David lost his wife and daughter, his entire family, due to one idiot's reckless decision to go 162 miles an hour down a normal road. And in prison, Cameron Herron is going to be there for a very long time. So his entire adult life is pretty much gone, vanished before he could even be, the legal age to drink an alcoholic drink.
Let's talk about the most banned.
It's freaking insane, bro. There's like billions of freaking They said his name on freaking TikTok got freaking billions of views, bro. And people were like actually idolizing him, man, and calling him like they have no idea like what he did to that guy's freaking family, bro. So I said, man, seekers, when you don't even try to like straight race, do stuff like that, man, because you just never know what can happen, bro. The car can go out of control, and the freaking unthinkable can happen, man. That's why you never do that, bro. But the thing that's getting to me is, bro, how they say all these people calling them to ask to see how son of his jail doing, bro. I'm like, they're not gonna call the actual father to see how he's doing, bro. Like how his whole life was freaking changed, bro, ruined off of one action, bro. We need more sympathy seekers, bro. For people that go through things.
And children's book in the 1990s, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Guys, they did this book so dirty, I need to tell you about it. And if you guys don't know, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is a children's horror book that was written by Alvin Schwartz and illustrated by Stephen Gammell. But these books compiled a bunch of folklore stories, accompanied by really creepy drawings, like this one. But these drawings unfortunately led to the book being in the top 10 most banned books in the 1990s.
Ooh.
That's because parents deemed the book to have inappropriate and violent themes. The book started being pulled off of school shelves, leading to a drawing redesign in 2011 by another artist named Brett Hillquist, leading the drawings to be dramatically changed, and basically no hate to that artist, but not scary at all. Examples include the dream going from this to this, the haunted house going from this to this, Harold, one of the most popular stories, going from this to this, the red spot going from this to this, as well as so many others.
What are they covering?
Like that's not okay. I'm sorry, that's not okay. And this, of course, led to multiple resellers selling the book with the original drawings at very high prices. Fans were so disappointed until 2017 when this was released. The books finally got republished with the original drawings. But unfortunately, these don't have the original covers, which is okay. I feel like most fans just wanted, like, the drawings back. And I'll be honest, I feel like this only happened because 2 years later, there was a film adaptation by Guillermo del Toro, and this re-release literally says, soon to be a motion picture. Personally, I don't think the book should have been banned at all. But if this was terrifying, then just close the book. But what do you guys think? Do you think this book should have been banned? Yes or no? Well, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Seekers, what do you guys think, man? So that book had been banned, bro? Then, like they said, they tried to bring it back and water it down, try to change the images. But then it's like, they brought it back, bro, just because the freaking picture, just because the movie is coming out, man. So you know they did it for the money, bro. I be trying to tell you, bro. Like, it's right there in our faces, bro. There's money involved, bro. They do not care. It still should have been banned if they freaking banned it the first time, but they brought it back for some extra money. Like, Seekers, I want to know you guys also know, should they have banned the book, or it shouldn't have never been changed?
Search teams have located the missing 4-year-old child with autism who went missing in Barber County. They found Phoenix Wilkerson, who before today was last seen Friday afternoon on Sid Bush Road in Clayton. Officials say Phoenix Wilkerson was found by a group of search canines and then was taken to a hospital where he's now being looked at by medical personnel. It is unknown at this time the condition of Wilkerson.
I think they found him. Oh, he found him. He's a hero, bro. Give him clap, Seekers. What's he doing in the forest? You guys saying when he was freaking circled his feet, but they were like clean. So I'm like, what the hell? How did he get in the forest, bro? There was like his freaking feet were clean, bottom was clean. Did someone like drop him off there? Was he with somebody? Or did he just wander in there? She is. I'm gonna deep dive into that case, bro.
Jurors on this case were so haunted by the crime that they needed trauma therapy. In March 2018, 38-year-old Veronica Youngblood from Virginia was arrested. On the night in question, she had given her daughters gummies laced with a sleeping aid. Her daughters were 5-year-old Brooklyn and 15-year-old Sharon. The mother of two then shot both of her daughters. Horrifically, Sharon did not instantly die. She was actually able to ring police and explain to them that her mum had shot them both. When jurors on the case were played this 911 call, they were so distressed that they actually needed therapy. The teenager was taken to hospital where she sadly passed away. It transpired that Veronica had called her ex-husband after the killings and told him that she hated him. She also told him what she'd done. It's believed that her motive for this hideous crime was revenge over him. He'd actually been planning to move away to Missouri with Brooklyn the following weekend. Following her trial, Veronica was sentenced to 78 years in prison.
A missing North Carolina...
Like, bro, do you know how freaking chilling a case has to be, bro? Like, the freaking issue, the jurors, they need actual therapy after hearing that freaking call seekers, man. All because she couldn't let the freaking past relationship go, or dated from jealousy or revenge or something like that. But to take it out on your own kids, bro, just to get revenge over your ex, man, that's not right, seekers, bro. Like I said, bro, this world can be an evil place, man. Ooh. That audio, bro, freaking haunted those Jewish forever, bro.
Atlanta teenager was just found hidden under a trap door in this man's home in a completely different state. And what he has to say about it is horrifying.
She hid on her own free will. She was actually in the bed when the officers first come in there. Her grandma kicked her out. She didn't appear to be that age. She had all kinds of piercings.
In December, a 16-year-old girl left her grandparents' home in North Carolina after a fight and disappeared. She was officially reported missing on December 6th, and her grandparents feared the worst. But what they didn't know was that 3 weeks prior to her disappearance, a 34-year-old man named Zachary Jones found the girl online and started talking to her. And he actually lured her from her home after the fight with her grandparents. Zachary then drove the girl all the way back to his home in Lincoln County, Kentucky, where he repeatedly sexually assaulted her and gave her drugs. Fast forward to Christmas Day. Zachary's mom called 911 to report a domestic violence incident between Zachary and who she thought was his girlfriend. And when police arrived at the home, he said the girl was not there. He was quickly cuffed and placed in the back of a cop car after authorities found drugs in the home. And when they went back inside to search for the girl, they found something incredibly disturbing. Locked inside of a trapdoor, hidden under a rug in Zachary's bedroom, was a young girl who authorities say appeared very high. After investigating, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office realized that the young girl was reported missing nearly a month prior out of North Carolina. According to the girl, whose name has not been released, she said that Zachary initially told her that he was 19 online, but when she met up with him in North Carolina, he looked much older. It was there that he said he was 25, and it wasn't until they got all the way back to his home that she found out that he was actually 34. The girl said that Zachary was always armed with a gun and that he forced her to tell his family that she was 18. He also threatened to kill her many times and proceeded to sexually assault her and give her drugs, sometimes even strangling her during the assaults. When the girl was rescued, Zachary denied choking her and said that she hid in the trap door on her own free will. But the girl had very visible marks on her neck that proved otherwise. The victim also said that on their drive back to his house, they were pulled over by a cop, and Zachary told her that he would shoot the officer if they were asked to get out of the car. Zachary was arrested and is being held at the Pulaski County Jail, while the girl was taken to the hospital for treatment and was reunited with her grandparents. In an interview from jail, Zachary admitted to all of it, but said that she told him that she was 18. He said that she didn't look to be 16 as she had all sorts of piercings, and that he was helping her after her grandparents kicked her out, which was not true. Zachary is facing 30 different charges in just Kentucky, but he's also facing more charges in North Carolina as well. He's being held without bond, and judging by his lack of remorse, I truly hope that he never gets out, because this story is absolutely terrifying.
It is.
These are the worst of the worst videos on the internet explained, and today we're starting with Funky Town. Before I begin, never look this video up. This is a massive trigger warning. The video begins in some sort of room and music is playing. The first song that plays is Sweet Child O' Mine by Guns N' Roses. And the camera pans to the victim on the floor with plastic wire. And the torture had already began before the video started. Because the victim looks like he's already been through complete brutality. His hands have already been cut off and his face has been completely flayed, which means skinned. There is no skin on the victim's face at all, and his eyes have been gouged out. And there is an insane amount of blood all on the floor. But the most messed up part about this is that the victim is hooked up to some sort of IV, and the IV is pumping him with drugs to keep him alive. And completely aware, making sure he feels everything that is happening to him. At the start of the video, they try and slit his throat with a farming sickle and press it against his jaw. But when the victim begins to scream, they shove a box cutter in his mouth to shut him up. His screams are absolutely gut-turning. They kept going from screams to gurgling, from screams to gurgling. As the video progresses, they take the box cutter and slit his throat about 40 times. And keep in mind, the victim is still alive and aware of everything because of the drugs they are giving him to keep him alive. Also, the cartel members are mocking and laughing at the victim the entire time. They then continue to try and slit his throat with the box cutter and were going at his neck numerous times. All while the song Funky Town was playing in the background, hence the name of the video. The cartel members kept having to physically restrain the victim, meaning that there was still a lot of life left in him. And the amount of pain he had to be in is completely unimaginable. At one point in the video, a cartel member has his foot on his chest holding him down, and another time they shoved a pole in his mouth holding him in place. But the worst part about the video is towards the end, where the victim manages to loosen his arms from the restraints and immediately tries to touch his face. But remember, the victim has no hands to feel, no face at all, and no eyes to see. The victim was most likely in so much shock that he likely forgot he had no hands, but instinctively the victim still tries to touch his face. It's absolutely horrifying, and the video then concludes. Also, keep in mind, the victim was still alive when the video ended, so who knows what else they did to him before he died. Because they were just keeping him alive to torture him. What makes Funky Town so horrifying, besides what happens in the video, is the mystery behind the video. We don't know the victim's name, we don't know why he was being tortured this way, or what he did. The only thing that we do know is that it took place in Mexico, and it's extremely horrifying to watch. You can make an argument that nobody has ever been tortured this bad in history. Funky Town is definitely one of the worst videos out there, and I don't recommend watching it ever. But to start off this series, Funky Town has the first spot.
I don't, bro. I never look up those videos, man, what that guy says, bro. You know, some people can have the guts too, but I guess I'm just not one of the seekers. You seekers, that's it for this video for you guys today, man. If you guys stay with me to the end, I really appreciate that, man. You seeking the truth just like you, so you're a true seeker for staying through to the end, man. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, man, hit that post notification bell, guys. I'm trying to do these daily uploads for you guys, man. Like I said, I'm always trying to upgrade my freaking content, always trying to make it the best it possibly can be. So tell me if you guys want me to do anything better. Like I said, I know y'all guys talking about the audio and stuff like that. I do plan on fixing that and other stuff, but it's gonna come, seekers. So to stay with me, man. You guys can catch in the next one. I'm out. Peace, seekers.